Well, hello and welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. Our final scene here, we're going to go meet with Solas. Hopefully he'll fix our hand. That's my hope. And then I'm going to kill him. And I looked on the quest map, and this is called the Shrine to Fen'Harel. So this was a shrine to him. That's where we've been fighting, in Solas' shrine. And why do you have statues of Gillenon, one of the Evanuris? Thought you didn't like the Evanuris. Locked them all away.
Leave now and tell the Canary to trouble me no further.
Now I'm watching this and I get the option to attack him. Why would I attack somebody that could turn me into stone? Turned all those Canary into stone, turned her into stone right in front of me.
I suspect you have questions.
So I did get the, I did find out he is the Dread Wolf. Okay. How did you do that? Let's ask.
How were you able to control the anchor?
In the same way as when I stopped it from killing you at Haven. Although I am stronger now, the mark you bear was bestowed upon you by the orb of Fen'Harel. My orb.
Your Fen'Harel.
I was Solas first. Fen'Harel came later. An insult I took as a badge of pride. The Dread Wolf inspired hope in my friends, and fear in my enemies. Not unlike Inquisitor, I suppose. You also know the burden of a title that all but replaces your name.
Let's do it. No. It's obviously futile. I don't get that his life sounded hard. How was it hard? I don't know. Nah, it's kind of pointless to attack him. Well, I guess I just want to hear it. I'm not sure. It doesn't really fit with her, but I want to hear it.
I saw the stories as we traveled through the Alluvians. Are they true?
They are closer than the Dalish legends, though still prone to making me into something more than I am.
I'm so sorry, Solas. What you've seen, I can't imagine.
I sought to set my people free from slavery to would-be gods. I broke the chains of all who wished to join me. The false gods called me Fen'Harel, and when they finally went too far, I formed the Veil and banished them forever. Thus I freed the Elven people, and in so doing, destroyed their world.
Well, I didn't get the option. I thought we were going to get the option to basically say, nah, I don't really have any questions.
You said that the Elven gods went too far. What did they do that made you move against them?
They killed Mythal. A crime for which an eternity of torment is the only fitting punishment.
I thought Mythal was one of the Evanuris.
She was the best of them. She cared for her people. She protected them. She was a voice of reason. And in their lust for power, they killed her.
The Evanuris were elven mages? How did they come to be remembered as gods?
Slowly. It started with a war. War breeds fear. Fear breeds a desire for simplicity. Good and evil, right and wrong, chains of command. After the war ended, generals became respected elders, then kings, finally gods. The Evanuris.
You banished the false gods. You didn't kill them.
You met Mythal, did you not? The first of my people do not die so easily. The Evanuris are banished forever, paying the ultimate price for their misdeeds.
We know how the Veil destroyed his world. We saw from the Shattered Library how it did that. I suppose. Let's ask this. I want to hear one more time. Get any hint what the Evanuris were up to. I think it had something to do with the Titans.
You love the Fade. Why would you create the Veil to hide it all away?
Because every alternative was worse.
Meaning?
Had I not created the Veil, the Evanuris would have destroyed the entire world.
How? How?
That's the past. What about the future?
I lay in dark and dreaming sleep while countless wars and ages passed. I woke still weak a year before I joined you. My people fell for what I did to strike the Evanuris down. But still, some hope remains for restoration. I will save the Elven people, even if it means this world must die.
Solas, whatever you want, this world dying is not the answer.
Not a good answer, no. Sometimes terrible choices are all that remain. It is my fight. You should be more concerned about the Inquisition. Your Inquisition. In stopping the Dragon's Breath, you have prevented an invasion by Qunari forces. With luck, they will return their focus to Tevinter. That should give you a few years of relative peace.
What's wrong with the Inquisition?
You created a powerful organization, and now it suffers the inevitable fate of such. Betrayal and corruption.
It's not that simple.
Do you know how I discovered the Qunari plot? The plot I disrupted by leading them to your doorstep. The Qunari spies in the Inquisition tripped over my spies in the Inquisition. The Elven Guard who led you to the Qunari body, who intercepted the servant with the Gatlock barrel. Mine.
Yeah, so what? All you're arguing for is anarchy. Nobody should ever trust anybody. Forget about families. I mean, basically, people shouldn't be people.
So you let us do your dirty work.
The mistake was yours to fix, Inquisitor.
How? How was it my mistake?
There's still the matter of the anchor. It's getting worse.
Yes.
Maybe I should have attacked him.
Ultimately, none but I could have borne the mark and lived. Your death would cause more senseless chaos, more bloodshed. It is unnecessary. Though I doubt you will thank me. Live well, while time remains.
Oh, I guess it's just a foregone conclusion that we're going to stop him. We never got the choice between reforming or stopping, and I think it's because we're on bad terms with Solas. Although apparently we weren't on bad enough terms for me to basically tell him, I don't actually give a crap about your explanations. It's like, what is it? When have I ever? Why are we getting this music? I don't get it. What the hell? What? Anyway, there's, what is it? Have I ever cared about one of your long explanations? And then he gives you the 5-second summary of what he's been doing.
But we cannot lose the Inquisition now. We stand on the brink of war with the Canary.
Yes, because this Solas provoked them in the first place.
We apologize for not informing the summit beforehand. We were concerned.
Of course you were! The Canary spies were inside your organization!
Without our organization, you would not be alive to complain.
No one has forgotten what you have done. But Corypheus is 2 years dead.
If the Inquisition is to continue, it must do so as a legitimate organization, not a glorified mercenary band.
Inquisitor.
I want to get rid of it because I just don't trust anybody anymore. Except for Josephine over here. Yeah, let's disband the Inquisition. Thinking about, she was initially thinking she wanted to keep it, but now she's like, it's gotten too big. We need to make it smaller. It's gotten out of hand. Need to fire all the elves. None of them are trustworthy. I don't see how you don't become a racist organization after this. It's like, well, basically every elf has got to go. And can't really trust very much of anybody else either. I mean, humans, they don't seem very trustworthy. Maybe we should just stick with dwarves. No. Let's go this way.
You all know what this is. A writ from Divine Justinia authorizing the formation of the Inquisition. We pledge to close the breach, find those responsible, and restore order, with or without anyone's approval. We have fulfilled that pledge, and now the war is over, for most of us. It is time for our soldiers to sheathe their swords and go home. To all who served, thank you. It has been an honor. Effective immediately, the Inquisition is disbanded.
Keep thinking, I guess I just wasn't on bad enough terms with Solas. It could have been worse, huh? It's not much of a crew left, is it? Very small crew. No Blackwall, no Cole, no Sarah. Of course, no Solas. You never have Solas here. Let's read the title, the end slides. In short order, the Inquisition was disbanded. Some were relieved to see the unpredictable organization dismantled. Others preferred to remember the Inquisition's good works and the many lives it had saved. Those who had served returned to their former lives, knowing they had stopped a great evil from destroying the world. One great evil, there's another one on the horizon. And hoping that the peace for which they had fought remained once the Inquisition was gone. With the dragon's breath disrupted and any hope of a swift victory dashed, the Canary retreated back to the north. Few knew what debates were waged in Parvolan, but not long after the Exalted Council, the Canary launched new attacks against Tevinter. Their aggression caught the already unstable Imperium off guard. Tevinter was soon mired in a war many feared could spread across Thedas. The Exalted Council remained intact, advising Divine Victoria on important matters. Cassandra served for several years. What? Served who? Was she the right hand? What? She's not divine. Oh, yeah, the divine's next to her. She's on the left side of the divine, though. Shouldn't she be on the right side? Isn't she the right hand? Cassandra also spent time in the Hunterhorn Mountains north of Orlais, where she worked to rebuild the Seekers. She's got a hammer in her hands. For a time, the new Seekers remained reclusive, showing no interest in worldly affairs and working to a purpose few outside their order could guess. With the Inquisition at an end, as it once had been, the few surviving mages who had served it found themselves with nowhere to go. The Divine had declared the circle over, but something needed to take its place. Vivian led many of the old guard to form a new circle, surprising absolutely no one when it was immediately elected her as Grand Enchanter. The remainder of the Inquisition's veteran mages formed a rival organization, the College of Enchanters. The two institutions settled into an uneasy coexistence across the south, vying for power. After the Exalted Council, Liliana devoted herself to the Sunburst throne and her dream of reshaping the Chantry. Within a year, she removed the restrictions surrounding Chantry priesthood, allowing men and women of all races to be initiated and ordained. This decree was followed swiftly by her decision to return the canonical of Chartan to the canonical chant, a move that divided Andrastians deeply. A rebellion to renounce her and return the chantry to its former state arose, beginning first in Orlais, then spreading across other parts of Thedas. Divine Victoria was resolute, holding her ground even after several unsuccessful attempts on her life. Seemingly unconcerned with the assassination attempt, she held up the hostility leveled against her as a proof that she was on the right path. Varric returned to Kirkwall, where as Viscount he resumed his work rebuilding the damaged city infrastructure. Under his rule, the city-state finally resumed its place as the major trade hub of the Free Marches. He continued to ignore all mail from both the Merchants Guild and the Prince of Starkhaven. With the Inquisition disbanded, the Bull's Chargers returned to taking jobs throughout Orlais and Ferelden. Fighting demons and clearing out the remains of Venatori forces, the Iron Bull did his part to restore order to Thedas. After the Inquisition disbanded, Cullen retired from active service. He returned to Ferelden, establishing a sanctuary for former Templars on land Divine Victoria granted to him. With his help, many Templars shed their lyrium addiction, and those whose minds were too far gone spent their last days in comfort. And he promised that, should his friends from the old Inquisition ever need him, his blade would be ready. Dorian returned to Tevinter to take his father's place in the Magisterium. As rumors flew about the Imperium's infighting, Dorian was spoken of as often as a voice of resistance against corruption. Along with Magister Maevaris Tilani, he formed a group called the Lucerni to restore and redeem Tevinter, a fight many thought hopeless. Those fighting by Magister Pavis' side noted that he kept in constant communication with the Inquisitor via message crystal. Whether for vital information or moral support, these talks seemed to give Dorian the strength to continue his fight. With the Inquisition disbanded, Josephine made her farewells and returned to Antiva and her family. She better get married to the Inquisitor, right? Thanks to the Inquisitor's help, the Montidiers were once again permitted to trade in Orlais. The next few years were a busy time as many ships in the Montidier crest were built and set sail again from Antiva's harbors. Soon, Ravani pirate captains with an ancient feud against Josephine's ancestors took to the seas determined to rekindle the rivalry. Apart from Josephine's sister Yvette, nearly eloping with a dashing pirate prince. On one occasion, Lady Montier took the development in stride. The Inquisitor found herself warmly received by Josephine's family, and House Montier soon became a second home. A place where the Inquisitor could at last find peace for a time, with Josephine happily by her side. After the events of the Winter Palace, elves left the Inquisition under mysterious circumstances, as did elven servants across Thedas. None could say where they went, but those who believed the Inquisitor's story about Fen'Harel wondered just how large the Dreadwolf's forces were. And what the ancient elven rebel had planned. Oh, look, it's Josephine. I don't think she normally shows up in this scene.
My agents have found nothing. With the Illuvians, he could be anywhere.
With the Inquisition officially disbanded, we have no army, no formal alliances.
We have what we truly need.
We will need to be careful.
Solas knows everything about us. Who we are, how we work, our strengths and weaknesses.
Then we find people he doesn't know. We will stop Solas by any means necessary.
You notice the roof is leaking and it's spilling all over the table. It's splashing on the table. Let's let the music play here for a little bit. Get some of the credits. Well, we'll end it here. Oh, wait a minute. We have to do Cassandra. That's right.
What is this? A new book? All this shit is weird. Oh, Varric, that is a terrible title. What are you even thinking? sky churned like a rolling sea on a dark and stormy night, centered on a gaping hole that led to the arse end of nowhere. A hole that spit up many things that day, comets, demons, and a whole lot of trouble. It's about the Inquisition. The din of the tavern cut the silence like it owed the carter money. In the middle, in her element, Red Jenny. She looked me up and down, mostly down. "Not playing, weirdy," she said, gesturing with and dismissively eating a sandwich. "Don't write that. Seriously, piss up a row." Sarah made the subtext text, which suited me fine. The court enchanter swirled into the room like a drop of beautiful poison spreading in a wineglass. She sized me up with a glance. "I'm so glad you made it, my dear," she said. "I am Madame de Fair, the most terrifying person you shall ever meet." Liliana enfolded Alphonse in an embrace as warm as a serpent's kiss. "I always knew I could count on your support." The Count did not feel the bite of her poisoned dart until it was too late. "Even if it requires your death." Drops of rain glistened on the griffin medallion grasped tightly in Blackwall's hand. "The silverite wings of valor, they mean nothing." He flung the medal to the cold and uncaring ground. "You don't know what I've done. You don't know me." So romantic. Cole moved like a shadow that also moved like a knife. A shadow wearing a hat where dreams came to die. "It's a riddle," he whispered. "A cold riddle that gnaws at your mind, but you'll feel better when it's gone." That makes as much sense as anything Cole says.
Yeah, and that's why he shouldn't even be in this voiceover, because I got rid of him. He didn't make any sense, so I'm like...
"Do you place your herald above the law, Ambassador?" "Whose law, my lady?" Josephine's eyes glittered like angry opals. "The law destroyed by rebellion, by civil war, by poor fiscal management. We are the law." We left our mark on adamant, but the dust hadn't settled, and neither had Harding. "I can offer you a drink, if I catch your meaning." "If you caught my meaning, you'd have offered a double." What is even happening here? The Iron Bull was a great slab of muscle with horns that could hang a tapestry. One eye scanned for threats, while the other hid behind an eye patch like a chantry sister's old sins. "Come on," he barked, not looking back as he entered. "The dancer with the great rack comes on in 5. That is spot on, actually. The commander had the look of a Templar who had seen the worst of humanity, yet still had the time to style his hair. This isn't just a war, he said, his gaze steely like a dull blade. It's the only war. Cullen! That's Cullen! The mage wore a class of handsome sneer cultivated by 1,000 years of Tevinter elitism. The name's Dorian, he glared. D-O-R-I-A-N. Spell it right, you marble-headed lump, or it's toad time. A toad? That's hardly credible. The bold elf spun, mage staff crackling like the city after a good man's murder. You're crazy, the Red Templar cried in terror. Moonlight glinted off ears like the knives you never see coming. Better to fade out than burn away. Ugh, Varric. Wait, where am I? I don't... Oh, here it is. The Seeker clutched at my vest, her tears as desperate as they were pitiful. Varric, I was wrong about everything, she sobbed. Could you find it in your noble heart to forgive me? That dwarf, he put me in the book! I'm in the book! I am reading the shit out of this!
Alright, well, that's enough for this playthrough. Probably go back to Mass Effect after this, but I had a good time playing as Rogue. I need to actually go back on my own and try out a dual wield thing. But anyway, thanks for watching, and see you another time. Until then, bye.